Washington Post, NBC, a lot of news gathering organizations are keeping very close track of this sorry son of a bitch, Trump, because we're going to need an historical record, and we're probably going to need it fairly quickly. Chris Cillizza at CNN, he's the editor at large there, counted 29 tweets and retweets from Trump on Sunday alone. What you have to say is when you consider the content, is a remarkable thing coming from a president of the United States. But it's not just the quantity of what this orange bastard tweeted and retweeted that's so mind-boggling. It's what he said in these tweets. Here's a brief summary. The FCC, Federal Communications Commission, or the Federal Election Commission should investigate whether Saturday Night Live and late-night talk shows are in collusion with Democrats and maybe Russia because they attack him so consistently. If that's not paranoia, then somebody come up with a definition quick. Here's another one. He attacked John McCain for allegedly sending the FBI the Steele dossier before the election. McCain. And that McCain worked with Democrats to do that. Hey, Lindsey Graham, where the fuck are you? Huh? You're not going to defend your dead best friend, you chicken shit little bastard, you? Also, Trump called McCain, and it's worth noting that McCain is dead. Trump said that McCain was, quote, last in his class at the U.S. Naval Academy, which he wasn't. Trump urged Fox News to reinstate Jeanine Pirro after she was suspended for questioning the patriotism of Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, who happens to be a Muslim. He urged the Fox News channel to stand up for host Tucker Carlson, who has seen a lot of advertisers pull out of his shitty show following the release of a series of caustic and offensive remarks he made on a radio show 7 or 8 years ago. And if you know what I'm talking about, they were just filthy. Trump accused General Motors of having, quote, let our country down, end quote, in the wake of the news that the company was relocating 4 American factories. You stupid son of a bitch, Trump. You're the one doing it with your fucking tariff games. But never mind. Trump attacked Fox News anchor Shepard Smith and 2 other weekend anchors at Fox, saying they had, quote, been trained by CNN prior to their ratings collapse, end quote. Secret training sessions, right? You fucking insane geek. Trump also alleged that Democrats tried to, quote, steal a presidential election. He called it, quote, the biggest scandal in the history of our country. He also retweeted this freak Jack Posobiec, another one of these Nazi fuckers, who is the leading promoter of the Pizzagate conspiracy and the Seth Rich conspiracy theories. Pizzagate, you know, that's the one where Hillary Clinton and John Podesta were working with people running a child sex ring out of the basement of a pizza parlor in Washington, D-fucking-C. And to show you how crazy some Trump supporters are, remember the guy that showed up there with a long gun, looking around to see what he could find out about keeping them kids and you know what Hillary and them are doing? God damn. And the Seth Rich conspiracy. Seth Rich, who worked for the Hillary Clinton, or worked for the DNC, and he was mugged in D.C. during the campaign and murdered. And Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh and the rest of these filthy, fucking, goddamn cockroaches tried to spin the story that Seth Rich knew that Hillary Clinton was working with the Russians and therefore had to be killed by the Democrats. Trump retweeted what this guy Jack Posobiec said, who's one of the big promoters of those two nutcase theories. Jesus fucking Christ. And as Chris Cillizza points out, all of this and lots more in the space of a single day. It just went on and on. Cillizza points out, now Trump has had a lot of these, oh my God, did you see what he just tweeted? Days. Remember when he took to Twitter and insisted that Barack Obama had ordered Trump Tower wiretapped during the election? Remember that? Remember when Trump said that MSNBC host Mika Brzezinski was bleeding profusely from a facelift? We can say anything we want to about Mika Brzezinski, most of which would probably come out sexist, but I'll tell you what, she has a perfect face. If that face has been lifted, I want that job done to me. I'll take one of those. But as Chris Cillizza points out, for the most part, these were one-offs. Single nutty fucking asshole tweets from the President of the United States dumped in among his usual daily mix of propaganda and lies and horse shit. Never before, Chris Cillizza writes, at least not as far back as I can remember, have we seen such a sustained day of wildness and wackiness from Trump. Weirdness. Which is saying something. Because Trump has long turned to Twitter as his preferred method of communication with his supporters, the media, the country. And Twitter is where the truest form of Trump comes out. There are no filters, nobody to tell him not to do it, nobody to tell him to consider what the fuck he's saying. It's just him and his little iPhone sitting there destroying everything. It's his Twitter feed, not official White House statements, not signing ceremonies. It's that goddamn Twitter feed where you can find out what is eating Trump's brain and what he really thinks about his presidency and the world. Cillizza writes this, when you think about it that way, what we witnessed on Sunday is somewhere between concerning and absolutely terrifying. The most powerful man in the country, and maybe the world, spent his day touting unproven conspiracy theories about stolen elections, suggesting collusions between Democrats and comedians, attacking a military hero and Republican senator, and trying to program his favorite cable network's broadcasts. And he did all this while failing to send even a single tweet about the tragic mass shooting in New Zealand. George Conway, Kellyanne Conway's husband, tweeted an image to the diagnosis for narcissistic personality disorder and said bluntly of Trump, quote, his condition is getting worse. end quote. Brian Klass, a political scientist at University of California, Los Angeles, I guess, was slightly more expansive. This is what Brian said, quote, "We have a seriously dangerous normalcy bias where we move on because we desperately want to pretend it's okay. Trump's Twitter meltdown today," that was Sunday, "which shows a deranged and unhinged person, will be forgotten by Monday afternoon, but the deranged man will still control the nukes," end quote. So when the fuck is this Christian Mike Pence and these Christians on the cabinet going to invoke the 25th Amendment and get rid of this fucker? Of course, Pence, being a Christian, would probably be worse. But Pence is a mealy-mouthed little shit who probably wouldn't do the damage in a year that Trump can do in 15 minutes. Trump's critics questioning his mental health isn't all that new. What was new, however, on Sunday was that the White House felt the need to mobilize some of its most senior officials to push back on the idea that Trump was going insane. Kellyanne Conway told reporters this morning what I said. "No, I don't share those concerns." And that greasy little fucker Mick Mulvaney, White House Chief of Staff, acting White House Chief of Staff, he had to say that, quote, "the president is not a white supremacist. I don't think anybody can say the president's anti-Muslim," end quote. Oh my fucking word, are you kidding me? When in the space of 24 hours, Chris writes, two of the top officials in the White House are going public to claim that the president isn't crazy or isn't a white supremacist or isn't anti-Muslim, then you know Trump is going through, how to put this, a very rough patch. Huh? Think what he's doing to this country. Cillizza closes his column by writing, "And, as with many of Trump's problems, this latest series is self-created. His willingness to take to Twitter to air grievances, promote conspiracy theories, and just riff rightly raises questions in the mind of many thinking persons about how he thinks, what he cares about, and how all of that impacts his leadership and this country. If Trump's Sunday on Twitter doesn't raise some concerns for you, you aren't paying attention." Hey, Truth Seekers, Mike Malloy here on the Progressive Voices Network. We've got a deal for you. You can now subscribe to our new 1-hour audio-video combination Malloycast for only $29 a year. But you have to act fast. This deal ends on tax day, April 15th. Since we're without any business managers now, 100% of your support goes directly to maintaining our nightly campfire. Visit MikeMalloy.com to renew or to subscribe. And thank you for all the ways you keep it lit.